All right, so Sukhasana. And bring the shins forward and the heels out away from one another. And move the flesh of the buttocks away from the bones. So sit yourselves on the sit bones. And while we are doing this, and we are doing this every week, it's about bringing the awareness to your body. Yeah? It's not just about the action, but actually calming and centering the mind. Roll the shoulders back and down, bring the shoulder blades deep in against the back ribs, taking the fingertips by the sides. And just feel that you're not leaning forwards, you're not leaning backwards, you're upright. And with the breath out, just allow yourself to sink down, to be heavy. Softening the groins and feeling the touch between the base of the body and the floor. And just allow yourself to settle, to ground yourself down through the base. And just kind of with respect to the gravitational pull, feeling the gravity pulling you down from the inside. And then as you slowly begin to press the tips of the fingers down, then start feeling what's happening, what changes. Yeah? The lift up now, the sucking up action in the palms of the hands, in the armpits and the ribs, so as to allow the downward and the upward forces to balance each other. And then from the openness of the chest, place your hands in front of you, the roots of your thumbs against the chest, fingers slightly away from the chest wall. Feel the light touch between the hands. Relax the shoulders back and down, but keeping the chest open. As you close the eyes from top to bottom, looking away from the thinking brain towards the heart. And just taking a few breaths through the center in the chest, where the heart is. Not the physical heart, but more the energetic, the spiritual heart in the center of the chest. Just check that your face is relaxed, that you're widening the space between the eyebrows, softening the eyelids, let the eyes move back away from the eyelids. Relax the jaws, the tongue, the throat. And then after the next breath in, we'll do the 3 palms together in your own time. As you exhale, bow the head down, surrendering the brain to the heart once more. Release the hands to your thighs and listen to the resonance of silence. And as you breathe in, lift the head up and open the eyes and stretch the legs forward. And crossing the legs the other way. I'm just going to come forwards first. So you have whatever you need for your head in front of you. Sitting down lower if you can keep yourself upright. As you inhale, stretch the arms forward and up, lengthening the sides of the body all the way up to the tips of the fingers. And then from there, reaching forward, go halfway, reach through the tips of the fingers, but sit heavily into your buttocks. Then bringing your hands down, pulling the fingers towards you as you lengthen through the front. And then from there, sliding the hands forward as you take your head down. And with the support of the head, just allow yourself to sink back towards the back of the head, so the eyes sinking deep into the eye sockets. And the awareness is moving more towards the back body. Feel the softness of the hips. Yeah, so as you breathe out, releasing any tension there, out the hips, out the buttocks, letting go. With the breath in, can you still feel that there is a sense of lengthening through the front? So you're balancing the letting go with extension, extending as you breathe in, and letting go with the breath out. All right, then as you inhale, then come back to center. Stretch the legs forward. And cross the legs the other way, one more time. Lengthen first, navel chest lifting. As you inhale, stretch the arms forward, palms down. Inhaling, stretch the arms up, lengthening the sides of the body. And then from there, come forward, go halfway, again reaching through the tips of the fingers, but sitting heavily into your buttocks. From there, then bring your hands down, pulling the fingers towards you to lengthen through the front, and then from there, sliding the hands forward and taking the head down. So with the breath out, just softening the buttocks again. So going deeper into your body, yeah, embodying as we start the class. All right, then as you inhale, then come back to center. And stretching the legs forward. And okay, and then let's get into the Mukha Virasana. So get yourself the two breaks. One is for you to sit on, and the other one will be for the head. What's happening on the screen? I can't see some. So we have some new people here, but I can't see you. Please turn on your video. Yeah, I need to be able to see you. So it's a two-way process, right? Otherwise, I feel like I have ghosts in here. Okay, so now, sitting in Virasana. Knees towards each other, feet are by the sides of the brick. And you're sitting on the brick in Virasana. All right, so just sit yourselves down. You're going to come forward, but first to sit and feel that the sitting bones are leveled on the bricks, on the brick. And all the toes are pointing straight back. And then as you inhale, just stretch the arms forward, interlocking the fingers, palms away. As you inhale, stretch the arms up, lengthening the sides of the body up as much as you can, extending through the inner hands, mounts of the index fingers. And as you breathe out, you can release, just feeling how you are. And then the other way, so as you inhale, stretch the arms forward, interlocking the other way. And then palms away. And as you inhale, stretch the arms up. So again, lengthen the sides as best you can. With the same time sitting heavily in your buttocks. As you breathe out and release the arms. And now you're going to come forward, but as you do, as you know, you've got to keep your sit bones down in contact with that brick, which is not that easy when you are like this. It's not a movement that we do that much. So just go slow, yeah? And have the break in whichever way that you need to bring your head down. So as you go forward, the buttocks will want to lift. So I want you to sit yourself down again, taking the head down, and then if you can take it lower, then you can do that. Yeah, but all the time sitting back. So be aware how the buttocks want to lift up. And you want to bring them back down. And again, so be with the breath as you breathe out, releasing any tension in the hips, in the buttocks. And with the breath in, there's still that lengthening, that extension through the chest, so that the spine is still lengthening. All right, and then from there, we are going to catch hold of the side of the mat, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So pushing the mat, tucking the toes under, keeping the feet hip width apart, or maybe a little wider. And then as you push the mat, lengthening back through the buttocks. And then from there, as you come up, lifting the buttocks up high. Go slow. So as you push the mat, lengthen the sides of the body, and then lifting up as high as you can through the buttocks. Pulling up the knees, making the legs firm. Breathing. All right, then as you exhale, you can bend the knees and come back down. And so I said we'll be focusing on core today, core work. And to start with, have 2 blocks. So some of you, I don't know. So let's do this first. You're going to have 1 block underneath you, under your sacrum. And then the second block will be between the inner feet, yeah, lengthways. And then what I'm trying to do is spread the toes apart, squeeze in that brick as I lift it up towards the ceiling with the inner feet. So you know that the inner feet kind of want to shrink down, but you want to make the legs alive, especially the inner legs, by lifting up through them, okay? Then from there, stretching the arms up. When your hands are here, I want you to drop the upper arms down into the shoulders. Yeah, so that the shoulder blades move into the body. This is important for what's coming later in the class. And from there, stretching the arms over. Okay, so that movement of dropping down and then arms over. Okay, so that first. So make sure to have enough space for your arms. So lie down. So 1 block is under the buttocks, the sacrum, and then the other between the feet. And slowly, slowly, so as you squeeze that brick between the inner feet, with that spreading the toes like fans as you slowly straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. Straighten the legs up. There's still somebody, Kevin, if you could turn on your video, I can't see you. And Ashling. So you're all very welcome, but please let me see you. If you could set your camera in such a way that I can actually see you, so I can see that I have a student there. Right. Keep squeezing that brick and lifting up. So see how the feet want to behave, yeah? And extend up through the inner feet and the ball mounts of the big toes. And see how that activates the inner legs. Yes, you're getting access to the core of the body. And then from there, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. And in there, see if you can drop the arm bone. So your humerus is dropping down into your shoulder joints. And then with that action, then take your arms overhead. Yeah, so you drop. So that's kind of, I don't know, yeah, it's kind of hard for people to get that one. So first dropping, and then from there extending, but there is a kind of compactness then in the shoulders. And lengthen through the tips of the fingers as much as you can. Sheila, take your feet back a little bit more. Take your feet back, no, back away from your face. Yeah, and straighten the legs, straight legs. That's it. Squeeze and lift. All right, and then take your arms back up and back to your side. Back to your sides, bend your knees, take that block away. And this time we're going to have a break. You have one of those smaller, fatter ones between the upper inner thighs, like so, lying there. So you still want to feel as if the block was between the feet, that same action of extension through the inner feet, this time also squeezing the brick. Front brick lifts towards the navel, back brick goes towards the heels. Yeah, so there's this kind of circular action, which is quite subtle. And then from there, stretching the arms up, and again, that action of dropping the upper arms into the shoulders, and then from there, bring the arms overhead, keeping the lower back down towards the floor, and squeezing the breath, and becoming really, really tall. Okay? All right, are we already there? So squeeze that brick first and see if you can feel that action that I was talking about. This is very good for your lower back health. Yeah? Squeezing the hips from the outer hips towards each other, squeezing that brick, and then feeling as if the front brick is moving to the navel and the back brick is moving towards the heels. Yeah. And once you feel that, then bring your arms up and dropping the upper arms into the shoulder joints first before you take your arms over. No, first arms are straight arms, straight elbows, but drop down. Yeah, as if you're dropping, so you're dropping the humerus into the shoulder, creating compactness in the shoulders. It only happens if your elbows are straight. If your elbows are bent, then it's not going to happen. And then from there, bring your arms all the way over with that awareness of that compactness in the shoulders. At the same time, squeezing the brick, extending through the ball onto the big toes, and extending, lengthening through the tips of the fingers. And try to keep yourself as flat on the floor as you can. So there's a little bit of a curve in your lumbar and your lower back, but not a lot, just a little. Be as tall as you can be. All right, and then bring your arms back up and back to your side. Yeah, and bend your knees, roll to your side. And we are going to do, it's called Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. And you have to do this with caution. Yeah, so some of you, I don't know, so I'm just. So you stretch the legs up now. If you need a block, if you absolutely need it, if you can't straighten the legs, you can use it. And then bringing your arms up, and again, that movement, as you take them overhead. And then imagining the brick is still between your inner thighs, that you're squeezing. As you slowly lower your legs down straight, if you can. But if you find that you start to kind of loose the legs and your lumbar is lifting, then you just bend your knees. Yeah? Be careful. Yeah? So this is not for complete beginners. So when you come down and you feel that it's too much, just bend your knees. Otherwise, you can go all the way to the floor and then bending your knees to go back up. Yeah. And if you are, my more dedicated students, then you can just take your legs up and down a few times. Yeah, but for those of you who are new, be careful in this one. So you can't be, putting weight. You can't do the movement from the lumbar. It has to come by strong core, strong legs. Yeah. So first take your legs up to 90. Extend the leg. So imagine first you've got the block between the feet. You're extending to the inner feet. Then also imagine you've got the brick between the thighs and you're squeezing your outer hips in towards each other. So the legs are strong and firm. Then bringing your arms up and dropping the humerus down deep into the shoulder joints. And then from there, taking the arms overhead, extending through the tips of the fingers. And see that your lower back is flat on the floor. Then with the breath out, start to lower the legs, but reaching through the heels. Reaching through the heels, slowly. Your knees should be straight, and you work with your breath. Yeah? And at no point should your lumbar be lifting. Yeah? So the movement has to come from holding the strength in your legs. All right? And then on your next breath out, you can either bend your knees to lift your legs, or you can lift them straight for those of you who are more experienced. Just to say this one, you know that it's not good with periods. Yeah, you can go about 5 times, and if you slowly, going to build it up to 10 even. But squeezing, so squeezing your hips towards each other and lengthening, extending through the inner feet. When you go down slowly and you come to about 60 degrees, there's a kind of a lift that comes from the bottom of the pelvic floor. I want you to feel. Yeah. And if you just let me know that you are done. Okay. So then you can roll onto your side. And you can do Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Spreading the fingers apart this time. So you don't have to hold them up. Take your toes under. Take your buttocks back to your heels. And then coming up. And just see how that feels after what you have done. So even in here, there is a kind of grip of the outer hips towards one another. Right? So you can still feel it. Extending through the palms and the index fingers, through the inner wrists, inner elbows, inner shoulders, all the way up to the groin. And then from the outer hands through the outer wrists, outer elbows, outer shoulders, all the way up to the outer hips. Breathing. All right, and then as you breathe out, you can bend the knees and come down. And we're going to get a belt. And we're going to do leg raises in this way. So again, this is a preparation for what I'm going to work on. Yeah, so you put the belt there on both feet, stretching the legs up. So again, it's 90-degree angle. And then, so when I'm holding the belt, my arms are straight, I'm pulling at the belt. And again, I want to get this action of the shoulders moving down. And also the heads of the femurs are down compact in the hips. Taking the left leg out first, taking it down, but straight. Yes, you're learning to split the legs like so. So you don't bend the knee. Yeah, then we do the second side. And then the first side again. This time, holding the belt with one hand, the other is on the thigh to keep it down, and then taking the leg out to the side. Yeah, Supta Parangustasana 2. And that on both sides. And third time, trying to bring your feet a little closer to you, but without lifting the buttocks. The buttocks stay down, thighs move away, and see how far you can go. Okay? We've done this many times. It's a good one. It's very good for your lower back to do this. So anybody who has challenged low back, it's a good one to remember. Okay, so as you pull at the belt with your arms straight, allow the shoulders to drop down. So again, it's the humerus is dropping down deep into the shoulder joints, and also the heads of the femurs are dropping down. And it takes it takes a moment to get that. So ushering, see if you can hold the belt up higher, keeping the elbows straight. And then from there, you're going to take your left foot out of the belt. And as you reach through the heel, take your leg all the way down, reaching through the heel, straight leg as you go. Extending through the heel, keep your thigh down, back of the thigh down to the floor as much as you can. And think of taking both thighs away and extending through your heels. Yeah, so we are lying down, everybody. Did you miss the demo, some of you? And as you inhale, take your leg back up. Put your belt around both feet. You don't have belts, do you? Or do you have belts, the two of you? Who is it, Mary? I don't have my glasses. It's hard for me to see. All right, so the other side. Taking your right leg out and then extending through the heel as you take your leg all the way down, but keep it straight as it goes. So you're learning to split the legs straight. Yeah, they need to be straight. It's a different kind of feeling than if you bend them. Now, taking both thighs away, extend through your heels, breathe. And then as you inhale, take your leg up straight. Put your belt around both feet. All right, give yourself a moment there. Take your feet a little away from you, Helene, because I just want the legs in 90 degree. There is a point at 90 degree, which is where the heads of the femurs go into your hip sockets. Yeah, that's better. Now take your left foot out of the belt once more. Extending through the heel, take it all the way down. Extend through the heel. Now you can hold the belt with your right hand, both ends with the right hand. Place your left hand on the thigh to encourage you to stay down. And then as you breathe out, take your right leg out to the side. Imagine as if you're unzipping the thigh from the groin towards the inner knee as you go, keeping the back of the left thigh down. So you don't go all the way to the floor, but you're trying to keep the left thigh. Imagine a hand pushing, or you've got your own hand to remind you that the left thigh is staying down. So just see how far you can go with that awareness. Yeah. So the abdomen is nice and broad. And the openness is in the right groin rather than just tilting. You don't want to tilt the pelvis. The pelvis is loud. All right, and as you inhale, take your leg back up. And on your next breath in, take your left leg back up straight. Remember, it stays straight. Put your belt around both feet. Give yourself a moment there. So in a symmetrical pose, allow the heads of the femurs again, go down deep into the hip sockets. And now take your right foot out of the belt, extending through the heel as it goes down. Straight. Extend through the heel. Now take your right hand to your thigh, hold the belt with your left hand. And as you breathe out, take your left leg out to the side. But keep the back of the right thigh down. Right thigh staying down. And so you're opening the left groin. Breathe, feel the abdomen broadening, so it's nice for your abdominal organs. And then as you inhale, take your leg back up. As on your next breath in, take the other leg back up, but keep it straight as it goes. Put your belt around both feet. Yeah, so back to the starting point. And now, so think of moving both thighs away from you. The tail moves away also, but stays down. The sacrum stays down. Extend up through the heels. And can you then bring your feet a little closer to your face? without bending the knees. Do not bend the knees. Yeah, so thighs move away, extend through the heels, and see how far you can go. And you might not go very far, but just making that intention of moving to start with. Yeah. So buttocks have to be down. Sorry, buttocks down, they are lifting. Down, I can see the shadow underneath. Yeah, so really open in the backs of the legs there. All right, and then you can bend your knees, take your belt off, roll yourself on the front and come straight back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, into your dog pose. Yeah, dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And so pressing the hands down to lengthen, to lift the spine up first. And now I want you to feel the difference in the legs now after what you have done. Yeah. So first get the length up through the sides of the body. So pressing the mounts of the index fingers down, lengthening through the inner elbows, inner shoulders, all the way up to the groin. And then it will be easier now to straighten the legs, hopefully, if you've done the other thing well. Pulling up the kneecaps. You're a bit too wide. Michelle, bring your feet closer to you, lift the buttocks high. And then just see if you can lift the heels up wherever you are. They may already be lifted, that's okay. Lift them up a little more without throwing the weight forward. And as you do that, pull up the knees and push the thighs back more. Thighs back so that you open the backs of the legs. And then think of bringing the outer heels down more. Yeah, it will really activate the legs. And let's do this a couple of more times. Lift the heels up, pull up the knees and push the thighs back really well, as if you want to plant the buttocks to the wall behind you. And then taking the outer heels down so that the inner arches of the feet are lifting. Let's do this one more time. Lift the heels up, pull up the knees, push the thighs back, open the backs of the knees fully lean. Go on, open the legs. And outer heels down, outer heels down. All right. And then you can come down, bend your knees, take a little rest. Yeah, it may be tiring if you're not used to this. Okay, so we are going to come to standing. And we're going to work on Utkatasana for a bit. So first, taking the feet away from at the wall. You can't see my head, but it's okay. Buttocks are at the wall, and the back body is at the wall, but the feet are away. Yeah. And then I'm going to take the arms up, trying to keep the hands at the wall, bending the knees. So as if I want to sit in a chair. Yeah. And then taking the upper body forward. Keeping the arms at the ears. Okay, let's try that first. So the feet are together and about a foot away from the wall. Yeah, keep them together. And think of gripping those hips towards each other as if the brick was still between your inner thighs. And then as you inhale, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. You can have the palms forward. See if you can bring them all the way up to the wall. Up to the wall. Extend through the tips of the fingers. And then as you breathe out, keeping the back body at the wall as you bend the knees. So it's like sitting on a chair. Yeah, but keeping the arms, keeping the upper body at the wall. So the shoulders, the arms are at the wall. As you get there, as you press your feet down, can you feel there's a lift from the lower belly? That's what I want you to feel. There's a lift from the lower belly. Knees together, lean. Knees together. Arms straight. Arms straight. Go on. And then can you take the upper body forward? So you're kind of making an S shape. Utkatasana is the chair pose. Upper body forward. Keep reaching through the tips of the fingers, breathing. Okay, then come up and release. So in the middle of the room. So it's a good one for the coach to understand that it's a good postural pose. You can really change your posture for better. Yeah. Without the roll down, bring the hips towards each other, stretching the arms forwards and up, lengthening up, and then you're going to bend your knees as you take your upper body forward. So it's kind of like an S shape you're making. But your pelvis needs to be in neutral position, so it's not this. And it's not that either. Yeah? So there's a lift from the front. Okay, let's try. Away from the wall. Feet together. Imagine the break between your inner thighs. That helps. Grip the outer hips in towards one another. As you inhale, stretch the arms up. You can have the palms facing each other. Reach up through the tips of the fingers. And then as you bend your knees, the upper body comes forward also. So it's kind of, you're making an S shape. Yeah, kind of zigzag. Upper body is in a straight line. Reach through the tips of the fingers and grip the hips towards each other. And there is a lift. Can you feel that lift from the lower abdomen? Arms are at your ears. Some of you look like you're going to dive into a lake or something. You need your arms at your ears. All right, then as you inhale, come up and release the arms. Okay, little bit on core stability, more. Standing at the wall one more time, with your feet together, away from the wall. You can keep your palms at the wall, and then bending your knees. So kind of coming towards right angle, not quite, but lower. Pressing the feet down to lift from the lower belly, and then lifting, just a little bit, lifting one foot up, and then the other foot up. And see if you can maintain it, if you can keep the pelvis as it is. Yeah, so it can be a bit tricky, so let's see how your core stability is. So take your feet away from the wall, keep them together. Have the whole back body at the wall, with the arms by the sides, palms can face the wall. And then as you exhale, you can bend your knees, go down. Keep your knees together, leave what's up. Keep your back body at the wall. And yeah, so just notice that what happens when you press the heels down, there's a lift that comes from the lower belly, right? Yeah, but you need to keep your back body at the wall. Sheila, back body at the wall, shoulders, head at the wall. And now can you lift your right foot up? Just a little bit. It's not a big movement, but I want you to feel that you're stable in your sacrum. It could be deceptively tricky, yeah? And then bring it down and take the other leg up. It doesn't have to go up that much, but keep your back body at the wall and the pelvis stable, so it's not moving. And if you can do it a couple of times, that's great. Do it a couple of times. Yeah. Michelle, how is it going? Yeah, good. Okay. All right, so if you're done, then come up. So now, just about the time. Let's do Virabhadrasana 1. So you could have 2 breaks or a few blocks here underneath your right foot first. We're going to use the wall, and as the warrior pose number 1. Standing with your right foot at the wall, and I put my toes up on the wall. Right? Then from there, I'm going to have the hands on the wall, the height of the chest, walking the left foot back, heel is in slightly. And then, so from here, I put my knee straight. Then I'm going to bend the right knee, but not the arms. The arms stay straight. Can you see me? Back leg is straight, front leg is in a right angle. I'm on the tips of the fingers. And because the arms are straight, I'm not allowing myself to do that, because that's not great for the low back. Yeah? Straight arms and lift here again. Grip in the hips. We'll do this a couple of times. So first time without the arms, second time we do it. You're going to leave the wall eventually and stretch the arms up to the ceiling. Okay? Let's try that. So you've got the 2 breaks, so some height for the right foot first. You can have your toes up the wall. And then take your fingertips to the wall, about the height of the chest. And then stepping your left foot well back. Taking the heel in just slightly so your toes are facing in about 80-degree angle. Keeping just the fingertips at the wall, not the whole hands. Fingertips. And as you breathe out and bending your right knee, but not bending the arms. The arms will want to bend, don't bend them. Keep the back heel on the floor. The back heel not lifting, keep it. Keep the back leg straight, it's the front leg that bends, not the back leg. And arms are straight. And when you do it like this, you get that lift from the lower belly. That's what I want you to feel. Hips are leveled with the wall, gripping the hips towards one another. And as if the brick was still between the thighs, so that there is stability in the pelvis. Front leg right angle, Michelle and Bernie. Front leg is in the right angle. Yeah. All right, and then as you inhale, come back up. Change sides, take your foot down, have the breaks for the left foot now. So the left foot is on the bricks, toes are up the wall. Have your fingertips to the wall, the height of the chest. And then stepping your right foot well back, taking the heel in slightly. Straight arms. Hips, both hips are facing to the wall, so adjust them if you need to. If you need to take your left hip back more, right hip forward, do that. And then as you breathe out, bend your left knee, make a right angle, but don't bend the arms. The arms are straight. The front leg is making a right angle, but back leg is straight also. Heel is down as much as you can. So you're feeling it in the hip flexors of the back leg also. Lifting from the lower belly, the abdomen, the chest. Front leg right angle. All right, and then inhale, come up. Release. Let's do the first side again then. So have the bricks underneath your right foot now. Toes up the wall, fingertips the height of the chest. Left foot steps well back with the heel in slightly. Fingertips at the wall, arms are straight. As you breathe out, bending your right knee, making a right angle. And lifting from the lower belly. Hips squeezing towards each other. And then, can you lift the arms up off the wall, stretching the arms up towards the ceiling without collapsing forward. So you now learned that lift from the lower abdomen. So you're not leaning forward as you stretch the arms. That's the challenge. Grip the hips in towards one another and lift through the tips of the fingers as high as you can. Back leg straight, back leg straight. Yeah, front leg right angle, back leg straight. All right, and then release the arms, take your fingertips to the wall and change sides. Take your bricks from underneath your left foot. Toes up the wall. Stepping your right foot well back, heel in slightly. Yeah, so as you breathe out, bend your left knee, make a right angle, keep the back leg straight. And hips are leveled, grip your hips in towards one another, lift from the lower abdomen, and then let go of the roll and stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. As you do that, have the palms facing each other and reach up through the tips of the fingers, reaching up really high through the tips of the fingers. Keep gripping the hips towards each other and not collapsing the chest forward, not collapsing the belly forward, because that would give you low back pain. All right, and then take your arms back down and come up. And now. So we are going to prepare for warrior number 3. First, like this, you're going to have the hands, the heart of the hips, step in the feet back, so making an L shape. Yeah, you're going to bring your feet together. And then, so it's like, that's why we did the leg raise, is the way we did at the start, is you're going to trace a straight line to your right big toe and lift the leg up without bending the knee. Toes are pointing to the floor, yeah, so making kind of like a T shape. And then it's coming to the tips of the fingers, lengthening back more. So that movement, yeah, so it's all about keeping the stability here, gripping the hips towards each other, because otherwise the body will compensate in all different funny ways. Throwing the weight sideways of the shoulders, lifting the hip. So you've got to catch that. So let's try. Let's do a right angle first. So hands are the height of the hips. And your heels are right underneath the buttocks, making an L shape. If your hamstrings are really stiff, you could have your hands up higher. Yeah, so your back needs to be straight first, back straight. Bringing your feet together. Lengthen back as if you want to send the buttocks to the opposite side of the room. Yeah. And then from there, so as you grip the hips towards each other, begin to trace a straight line to your right big toe as you take your leg back. But think of lifting the thigh up. Thigh, yeah. Extend through the heel. Breathe. And then can you come on the tips of the fingers without distorting anything? Can you be just on the tips of the fingers slightly? Still extending through the heel, the thigh is lifting. All right, and as you exhale, take your leg back down. So if your hip is lifting, if you're kind of compensating, then you've got to squeeze the outer hips in a little more. Imagine you've got the break there between the inner thighs. Okay, so start with the hands flat on the wall. Take a little break there with just in your L shape. And then for the other side. So, Michelle, take your feet forward slightly. All right, and tracing a straight line with your left big toe as you take your leg back. Think of lifting the thigh, not the foot, but the thigh more. Extending through the heel. And be on the tips of the fingers now, tips of the fingers. So hips are leveled, so your left hip should not be lifting. Gripping the hips in towards each other. That's where the stability has to be. Yeah. Breathing. Are you on the tips of the fingers now? Can you come on the tips of the fingers if it's not too much? All right, then take your foot back down. Take your hands flat on the wall. Take your feet apart, mat width, and just rest there for a moment. Yeah, resting in half forward bend, half uttanasana. And then you can bend your knees, walk your feet forward, and come up to standing. Okay, so it's a bit of fun. So we are going to do same pose differently without the wall. Just giving it a try. I'm gonna step back so you can see where the person. So with the feet together, you think of the movements. So I'm going to stretch the arms up, and you're going to start taking your right foot back first, and you come forward from the hips, making an L shape, and then coming out the same way. Yeah. So the trick is again to grip the hips in towards each other. So the axis of movement, your fulcrum has to be here. If that's not strong, then you won't keep the balance. Right? So let's see how we are. after all that you have done so far, how is this going to look? Make sure you've got enough space for your leg behind. Step, have the feet together. First, feet together. Stand upright, roll the shoulders back, open the chest, and feel the stability in the pelvis. So gripping the hips in from the outer hips. So yeah, imagine there is a brick between your inner thighs that you're squeezing. Right? Thighs back, lean. Again, thighs back, be in the heels more. Yeah. As you inhale, stretch the arms forwards and up. And you've got to really reach through the tips of the fingers. Reaching through the tips of the fingers. All the way up through the arms. And it's that reaching that will help you to keep your balance also. Yeah. So as you breathe out, so imagine first what you are doing, visualize it. You're going to take the upper body forward as your right leg starts to go up, but the hips stay leveled. So as you breathe out, you're moving around the fulcrum of your pelvis as the upper body comes forward and your right leg lifts up. Lifting the thigh, toes up, pointing down. And as if you're just skimming a top of a lake with the front body. Yeah, so the upper body and the leg move at the same time. And if that's too much for you, you can just do it with the wall. Go to the wall if it's impossibility. Just do it with the wall. Yeah, good. Extend through the heel, forward through the arms. You've got to keep reaching through the tips of the fingers. And then again, squeezing the hips in as you come back up. All the way, the same way. So it's not over yet until you're completely down. Yeah, take your arms to the sides and just get your good standing pose. Yeah. Right. Lean, thighs back, tailbone in, thighs back. You've got to work on that chair pose. Yeah. Grip the hips in towards each other. As you inhale, stretch the arms forward and up. Reach up through the tips of the fingers. Reach up, be as tall as you can be. Visualize in your mind what's coming next. So you're going to take your left leg back, tracing a straight line to your left big toe as the upper body goes forward at the same time. So as if you're going to lie with the whole front body on the top of a lake, just skimming the top of a lake. If the leg is not working, it's not gonna work. Just give it your best, don't worry. You will build it up if you keep it going. Yeah, Reem, good. Lift your arms up a little bit, reach through the tips of the fingers. Good. Sheila, go with the upper body more, a little lower down a bit more. Leg a little bit higher, be adventurous. And as you inhale, come back up. And come down. Well done. Well done. It's time you sit down for a bit. It's not over yet, but so I'd like you to work on the both pose, yeah, Navasana. There are two types. So one is the full, which is Paripurna Navasana. Have a belt. So if you have a long belt, you're gonna have a belt around just underneath the armpits. And then if the buckle is facing you, you can adjust it. You're going to take your belt around your feet. And then you're trying to straighten the legs, like so. And the belt, there's a chance for you to learn that action of bringing the shoulders back with the belt because you're held there. Yeah? So from here, which is normally what would happen, you're bringing the humerus deep into the shoulder joints. Try it like this first. All right, I'll do it with you one more time. So have a belt just under the armpits. Yeah. And then, so taking your feet just barely off the floor, and then you're going to try and straighten the legs. And even if the legs don't straighten, don't worry about that too much. I want you to get that action of the arms. And then First, you can just pull. You can pull at the belt with your hands to lift the chest up, and noticing how the belt, what's the belt doing for you, how it's bringing your shoulder blades in. And from there, just stretching the arms forward. Paripurna Navasana, it's the full boat pose. Arms need to be straight, otherwise you won't get that connection to the shoulders. Yeah, okay, it's tricky. Yeah, okay, come down. So remember, every so often we come back to this because it's tricky for lots of people. So at the beginning, when we were lying down, I was asking you to focus and bring that back. Yeah. So from here, imagine you're taking the femur, or not the femur, the humerus back. From here to here. So the chest opens, but not just squeezing the shoulder blades in, but by that arm movement. That can you try that first? So sliding the shoulder blades out. Take your arms forward, just with your feet on the floor, and your knees back. Yeah. And then as you draw the upper arms back, lift in the chest. Try that a few times, see how it... No, then it's not that lean. You need to keep your arms straight. Okay, relax for a moment. I'm just trying to find a way to explain this. You see, first bring the shoulder blades. So as the hands go forward, you can feel, do it with me. You can feel the shoulder blades sliding out, right? So they slide out and then back around, okay? From there, can you maintain the shoulder blades out as you just take your chest forward? Yeah. Yeah, so shoulder blades go out and then the chest lifts. Yeah, Tori, it looks right, yeah. All right, and then release. And that's when we put it into the pose. So now you can try without the belt. Just don't be too close to the wall in case you fall back. So you're going to interlock the fingers around your knees, shoulders back, lifting the feet just barely off the floor. Then you're going to do that action with the arms. So taking the arms forward, shoulder blades roll out, and then the chest opens. And then from there, can you slowly go, see how far you can go to straighten the legs. You may not straighten them, but yeah, see if you can get that action of open chest. We try? Okay, so pulling at the knees first, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, taking the feet just barely off the floor. So leaning back, then stretching the arms forward. Yeah, so first rolling the shoulder blades out, then lifting the chest up, so your back becomes straight. And then how far can you straighten the legs? Go on. Lift, aiming high with the feet. High with the feet, ear, straight legs. And then you can release, relax. It's very strong on the hip flex, on the groin area, your psoas, your hip flexors. So the second boat pose is the half boat, Adra Navasana. And that's a different, it works more on the superficial muscles in the abdomen. So you're going to interlock the fingers around the back of the head, starting from sitting with your legs straight. And then with the breath out, this time I'm going to ask you to round your back as you go back, rounding your back. And then lifting the feet up. So you're lower down now. Yeah, let's try this together. Straight legs. Interlock the fingers around the back of the head. And then as you breathe out, rounding the back. And then lifting the feet. So feet are kind of the height of the face. And see where you're feeling it. Breathe. A bit higher with the feet lean. All right, and then you can release, come back. And now we're nearly finished, I promise. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun at the end. And you're going to come back into the full boat pose, and then from there, then you bring yourself into the half one. And can we do that a few times? Well, let me see you. Okay, so interlock your fingers around your knees. Roll the shoulders back with the chest. Switch the arms forward. Again, so let the shoulder blades slide out. Lift the chest up. And then leaning back. Straighten the legs as close as you can to straightening them. And from there, you take the hands to the back of the head, around in the back, as you go down lower towards the floor, and lower the feet down. Not all the way once you fall down, then you're done. And then from there, see if you can come back up into Paripurnanavasana. Tori, go on, straighten the legs, yeah. Yeah, and then again, if you can, one more time. I'm losing some of you. Yeah, you will feel your bellies tomorrow, but it's all good. You will feel the hip flexors. Okay, we'll finish with a twist. Lie down. So you're going to have just a long open belt. You're going to lie down. You know this, it's Jatara Parivartanasana, it's called. Pulling the belt this way. Yeah? So if you look at my fingers, so as I'm going to lie down, I'm showing you sitting so you can see me. The fingers are like that, pulling the belt out. And the belt is behind the shoulders. So you know that the hands are the height of the shoulders. Okay? And from here, so pulling the belt out, bending the knees up to the chest, squeezing the hips in, and then taking both legs to the right side, keeping the feet together, and coming up, then the other side. So aiming to bring your knees towards the elbow. We do this a couple of times. It's a strong twist. So you're already doing it, so make sure that you're pulling the belt, that your belt is under your shoulders, the hands are the height of the shoulders, and the knees are high up towards the chest. Yeah? And then as you can do it in your own time, so going to your right side first, then the left. But think of as if you only had one leg. Lift your knees up higher. So you need to lift the knees are high towards the chest. And you feel as if they're glued together. Your legs should be glued together. Yeah? When you go to the right, you keep your left shoulder down, pulling at the belt more on the other side. When you go to the left, you pull more on the right side of the belt, keeping the right shoulder down. The opposite one. Yeah? This is a good twist to get rid of the fat, the damaging fat around the organs, around your liver, when you do it properly. All right, and then if you've done both sides a few times, then take your feet to the floor, and you're well ready for your relaxation now. If you have a bolster, so you're going to lie down, you can lie down flat, but I would like to have some weight for underneath, or for the top of the thighs. Because of what we've done a lot of work here on that middle part of the body, so I want you to bring weight there so that you can relax it. Now, yeah. And then having some blankets for underneath the head, tucking the shoulders under. This is your Shavasana. Yeah, hopefully your back is okay. If there is any pinch in your lower back, then you would want to have a chair for underneath your lower legs or the bolster underneath your knees. So lying down, make sure that you are in a straight line, that the chin is down lower than the forehead. So the back of the neck is long and the chin is down. Tucking the shoulders under well. And feel that you're on the same part of the knuckles of the fingers on each side. So palms are facing up towards the ceiling. With the breath out, let go of any tension in your toes and in your fingers. Let go completely. Relax the face and all the facial muscles. Widen the space between the eyebrows. Soften the eyelids, let the eyes drop down away from the eyelids, as if you had eyes at the back of the head, looking out through the darkness of the head. With the breath out, relax the jaws, the tongue, the throat. Feeling the contact between the back body and the floor, from head to feet and feet to head. Feeling all the touch points between the back body and the floor. The whole plane of the body on the floor all at once. With the breath out, soften the abdomen. Let it fall down towards the back. As you breathe out, soften around the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, all the fingers. As you breathe out, softening around the groins, the hips, the thighs, the kneecaps, the shins, the ankles, the fronts of the feet, and the soles of the feet, and all the toes. Just allow the body to become heavier and softer with each next breath out. Just letting go completely. There is nothing more to do, and there is nothing left undone. I'm going to finish with a poem by Rumi called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house, empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Well done, everyone. Sleep well tonight. And see you all next week.